Wow. Robert Lockhart and many seedlings he's planted here. And ripe Lanzonas. Robert, there's a lot of people eating a lot of rice, bread, and pasta in the transition to a raw food diet. Can you please explain the negatives to eating those kind of foods and what they do to the body? I've noticed a lot of people are consuming a lot of those foods, and I want to know if there's any negatives or positives on that, and I think a lot of people are interested in that subject.
Right, yeah. Um, we've got to get back to what is optimal for the human body, and it's fruit. That is what we're designed to eat. That is what we thrive on. You can survive on those other foods because the human body has many powers of adaptation. But in adapting to foods that are not suited to our physiology, it is really causing a strain on your system, causing a whole strain on your system, which will eventually break down and you'll come down with a chronic disease. The point is that, say, rice and pasta, they are foods which are acting as stimulants in your body. Your body is stimulated by these type of foods because the toxins that are contained by eating those type of foods, that are contained in those foods, those toxins are acting as a stimulant to your body, where your body is having to try and get rid of them. And that stimulation really becomes a craving. So you start to crave those foods. You know how a person craves a cigarette once they've become addicted to it? Well, it's the same thing with rice, and it's the same thing with pastas and cooked food. You become addicted to it. And it's because of the stimulatory effect that the toxins in those foods are causing your body to react in that way. Because the body, it is trying to adapt to those type of foods because the body wants to survive for as long as possible. You can adapt to good factors in your life as well. It takes a little training. You can adapt to little eating. You can adapt to deep breathing. You can adapt to maintaining your diet totally on fruit alone, and your body will thank you for that in the long term after the initial cleansing process, because you've sinned by eating these type of foods for the last 10, 15, 20 years. You've sinned by eating crap type of foods which are not suited to your physiology. Your body will try and throw those off with a cleansing period, a detoxification period. And people will think that, oh, it's making me sick by going on these raw foods. But it's not actually making you sick, it's actually making you better in the long term. So if you can initially utilize some of the willpower, some of the self-responsibility, you do have to use this. And it's not particularly easy sometimes, depending on your background, depending on your constitution. Whether you're made up of a very good constitution, you'll throw off toxins a lot quicker. If you've got a weak constitution, well, it'll take a bit longer, but you'll get there in the end. So all I can say is, in answer to your question, Derek, you've got to shift your mind first to realize that those foods are containing stimulatory factors because their molecular structure has been altered by heating. And for a start, we're not meant to be gramnivores and eating rice like chickens and everything that are birds, you know, that are specially designed, that they've got a crop and they've got a gizzard so they can utilize rice. So yeah, rice contains phytates, it contains opiates, and it is very, very satisfying because it fills you up and you think, wow, that's good. But You become addicted to it. It's just a stimulation. Why not live on 2 meals of fruit per day? It's a lot probably cheaper if you're growing your own food. So that's where I want you to shift. And you've got to make that effort to do it. Not everyone will be able to make that effort. Not everyone will be able to make that transition. But those of you that can are the ones that deserve to be here anyway.
Very well.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you.